Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Lou. I'm joined by co-host Alex Wong. We are coming to you live from the Nation Network studios here in Calgary, where we are covering the Toronto Raptors at training camp for 2025 as they prepare for the season. And we have 4 key questions that Alex Wong, the inquisitive mind, has come up with. And joining us to answer those 4 key questions, it's Joseph Casciaro of theScore. What's going on, Cash?
What's going on, man? Always happy to join you guys.
What was that? Who's that behind you, man?
Oh, we got the Italian stallion behind me.
Oh.
This studio in Calgary was ready for me, man. And Rocky behind me. This is great.
Listen, I've traveled with you a lot, man. Same physique to me. Yeah, between you and Rocky, I gotta say. First of all,
Rocky?
show us a beautiful Calgary, Alberta. Canada. We've been here for I think 36 hours.
36 hours.
It's been a wonderful time so far, right?
You've been going hard in Calgary, man. But I think Calgary's treated us to a great time. We what do we get? A nice little dinner and drinks. Class clown burger.
Yeah, class clown burger.
Not a
Don't
clown
go
burger.
there on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. It's a 2-hour wait.
It was worth the wait though, because we got there. Well, we didn't wait, but we went back a second time. It was great. Really lovely lunch / dinner / drinks / antipasti.
Yeah, Cash has been to the casino. I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal that, publicly.
It's okay.
But we're having a great time. Catch hello and welcome on 17th Street every day, eating banh mi sandwiches. It's a great spot. There's a great banh mi sandwich spot.
What's it called?
So, it's right next to the vintage store called From Another. So just put that into your map, and it's right next door. I think it's Kim Ah or something. Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Anyways, we're gonna get to we've been at training camp here first couple days, and I think one of the big questions coming into this season with the acquisition of Brandon Ingram is how's that going to look for Scottie, who's been anointed that number 1 option for the last couple of years, especially last season. And Scottie talked about it today. I think Darko's talked about it as well. What are you guys taking away from a couple of days from training camp here, hearing from the coach, hearing from Scottie about what might be different for Scottie this year, what might be different for the team's offense? Let's
hear first from Darko, actually, because we actually have the clip, which, by the way, you can watch the press conferences on our channel. Let's hear first from Darko.
Brandon's presence. I think it's going to really help to unlock what Scottie does really well. Last year we had Scottie play on the ball a lot, which we're going to continue seeing that and doing that. But also when he plays off the ball, when he's a screener and roller, when he plays in the dunker spot, just allows him to go more, get offensive rebounds and be efficient in that area. Scottie is really force for us in transition in open court with his early seals and post-ups. So I think they're going to complement each other quite well, to be honest with you.
And do you think Scottie will still play a lot of time on the ball, or is it just sort of more of a mix?
I think it's going to be a little bit less than it was in the past. So obviously with Quick, with RJ, with Bia, with Scottie, all of those guys can handle the ball. So they will be splitting those responsibilities more this year.
Okay, so Darko describing to me, it sounds like a different way that he described the way that Scottie would play as compared to previous seasons. Obviously, we've seen him do lots of different things, right? But I also think that last couple of years, he's really given the carte blanche to be point guard, dictate play, extend from 3, and just basically try a lot of stuff. This year, I think this is the clearest sign that the Raptors want to win, because they're like, we have a focus role for what Scottie's going to do. Cash, what did you make of what Coach said?
Yeah, I think it's kind of experiment time is over. Not over. I mean, Scottie's still a young player. There's still more he can add to his game, and he will. But I think, for a team that's trying to win on some level now, is probably trying to make the playoffs, that went out and traded for Brandon Ingram and then re-signed him. I think it's just time to acknowledge what Scottie can't be or isn't on the offensive end yet, right? Or may not be. We've talked before plenty of times about how Scottie Barnes can probably be the best overall player on a really good team at some point in his career, but none of us are sure whether he can be the number 1 offensive option or initiator or on-ball creator on that team, right? And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here, and the Raptors are acknowledging that. Or at least it sounds like they are, based on how Darko's talking, based on the way Scottie's talking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, Bobby kind of mentioned the same thing too, and that's kind of where my ears really perked up when he described it at his press conference, I think last Friday, where he kind of described the role in terms of getting the ball to Scottie in that free throw line area, Obviously, last year we saw him really improve with his mid-range jump shooting, turnaround jumpers. But at the same time, it's like he's really effective around the basket. He has the size and physicality to play and really be versatile down there too. And I think, it almost reminds me of like a couple, maybe like 2 years ago now when Darko first took over. I think he was like, in the NBA, you don't want to be good at too many things because that makes you like, it's hard to sort of like give you a role. Right. It's like better if you're like specializing at like 2 or 3 things and you're like excellent and you're excelling at those things. And I think in a way, it's like, it's not really scaling his role back, but it's just like making him do the stuff that he's absolutely the best at. Because now maybe before there wasn't, honestly, to be honest, it wasn't like RJ was a better first option. It wasn't really like IQ was a better first option.
Yeah.
But now I think for the first time, well, since I guess Pascal left the team, there's somebody on the team that's like definitively a better scorer. Let's just say scoring, period. Then I think that Scottie is. And so it's kind of like, okay, now how do we sort of complement around him? It doesn't, I don't think means like Scottie's gonna have the ball a ton as well. And that's what Darko that's there too. But he also admitted he's gonna have the ball a little bit less, which means he's got to do a little bit more off the ball. Alex, like, what's the ideal role? What's the ideal mix that you see for this team?
I think it's just, Scottie's volume's probably going to come down. Like I remember last year, you were talking a lot with Darko about him shooting a lot of threes as well. Yeah. And that feels like part of the experimentation. But, I feel like it's just more playmaking and more focus. He's been talking so much about his defense as well, right? Mm-hmm. Like he wants to make an impact on that end. I don't think anything's changed. Like bringing in Ingram, I think it's just part of the path to like try to put Scottie in the best position to like succeed, right? Like giving him this score, I think is going to probably maximize him, make him maybe hopefully more of an efficient player with less of a role, like a number one option role on offense. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And it's like interesting too. I think first couple of days in training camp, I think just seeing the interactions and stuff, like Brandon Ingram's like the happiest guy to like be here. Like he's having such a great time with just like RJ and some of the other guys on the court.
Yeah, there was more people in the University of Calgary gym for training camp than there was in the New Orleans NBA arena. Like,
we got to see a little stretching routine, by the whole team today, and you can see just little interactions between like Darko and Brandon as well. It feels like everybody's making an effort and not like trying too hard about it, but like making an effort to just have Brandon fit in, and Brandon feels like he's very comfortable so far, but of course we got to see the game.
So I guess he's the main fixture then, scoring wise. It's like, let's say, okay, I guess over the course of the game, everyone's gonna get the touches, whatever, right? But let's say it's like Raptors are up 2, Darko calls timeout, 1:30 left. Who they roll the ball to? What's the play scenario there? That's when you really got to decide.
Yeah, I mean it's Brandon Ingram. Like because of his ability, I don't know if it's Brandon Ingram getting the ball right away, but the ball's getting to Brandon Ingram.
It could also be a 2-man action.
Exactly.
3-man, you know what I mean? But, like obviously, but
I think in an ideal world, again, like that's why you trade for Brandon Ingram. And even, if you go back to what Bobby Webster said last week in his preseason presser, when he talked about like why they felt the need to go get a Brandon Ingram. And you talked about the shot creation and that skill, right? And so that's something they didn't have the last couple of years. Now they're at a point where, again, they're trying to win on some level. You need one of those guys. And Brandon Ingram isn't a superstar shot creator, but he is a star level shot creator, tough shot maker. And those are exactly the kind of shots that you're going to get and have to settle for late in games or in the playoffs because of what good defenses are taking away.
Yeah, I think, you know what, this conversation feels almost in a way that's like a little bit fraught just because the last couple of years we're like really, really focused and really, really invested into the Scottie thing. And now it feels a bit like a step back. But I actually really like, first off, what Scottie said in terms of being asked about sort of like new role, I suppose. And also he made a good point that kind of everybody has to sacrifice, especially with the number of scores they have on the team when they're healthy. Let's hear from Scottie as well.
Talent in that starting 5 and guys that are used to having the ball in their hands. So is it going to be a little bit of a learning process, I guess, to kind of figure out how to not necessarily defer, but figure out which guy has it going on any given night and alter your play,
for sure. We're willing to make sacrifices, but when you got there in the game, it's a different story. People, they play for something different. But it's all an adjustment. We all got to adjust. We all got to make sacrifices. We all got to find ways to affect the game in different ways. Rather if that's, some possession you get the ball, find a way to get it a different way. Go get offensive rebound, go get a back door, and go set a screen for someone and free them up. You got to find ways to impact the game.
Yeah. I think honestly the team playing faster I think is definitely interesting because I always feel like the faster you play, one of the factors is like how many ball handlers you have on the floor, guys who can capably run offense for you. And again, when they're fully healthy, like I can't necessarily imagine, like, for example, Jakob pushing the break or anything like that. But Scottie's great in the break, as Darko has said. Obviously, RJ can handle. He's actually a great finisher on the fast break. Gets a lot of buckets in transition. Brandon can handle as well. And then IQ, of course, is the point guard. So everyone playing fast, but there will be some sacrifices. But again, like, I don't care what you're sacrificing. It's really about the team itself, right? Everyone, again, like we made this point before, but everybody's got paid, especially in the starting lineup. Yeah. It's now about winning.
Yeah, and I think too, like we've seen Scottie thrive at times. Like even if you go back to last year, if you remember those, they were very short stretches because IQ kept getting hurt. But
yeah,
those short stretches when like Quickley would get back in the lineup, even when he wasn't at his best, just having a more natural ball handler on the floor freed Scottie up to do some of the other stuff he does. Like he is a good scorer off of cuts. He, you know, if he's in the dunker spot, like he's a smart player. He's he's a very high IQ basketball player, and even though he's not a natural scorer per se or a natural shot creator, I think he's going to find his opportunities to score. And if anything, might find easier opportunities to score, even though the ball's not actually in his hand.
Yeah. By the way, Raptors were 9th in pace last season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for NBA.com/stats. No, I think with Scottie, it kind of brings me back to like even his rookie season when I remember they were talking about how they wouldn't draw plays for him and he was still impacting games.
Yeah,
I remember there was one game in Brooklyn where he like had a monster game on the boards and
against
scoring
KD.
and stuff. So I don't think it'll be as extreme as that. Like he's obviously going to be more involved. But I think to Cash's point, it's like Scottie can play a lot off ball and like still just impact winning, even if his like usage rate or whatever is down. So yeah, but it's like, yeah, this team, yeah, you keep saying like they've been paid. I think there's a lot of unselfish players on this team. And yeah, again, we just gotta see what this starting five looks like. Like I feel like we keep waiting for that. And I think that leads us to the next question too. Is like there's been a lot of talk first couple of days in camp about IQ being in great shape.
Best shape of the team, man.
Best shape on the team. Yeah. Best
he was
shape on the
tarped off
team.
when they were doing their stretches too, just to prove it.
Yeah. He only played in 33 games last season. Averaged 17 points, 5.8 assists. He took about 7 threes a game, was 37% from three. Even on media day, I think he was like, when they told him about his 3-point attempts, he's like, "Oh, that's it." Like he probably wants to get 10. Yeah, he wants to get more up. Yeah. What are the expectations for you guys for IQ? Because I feel like he's one of those guys that's really gonna maybe swing where this Raptor season goes if he's healthy.
I mean, one, I think just a expectation is to be healthy. Like, you know, based on the way his first year and a half here has gone and the contract he's on, like first and foremost, my baseline expectation is play enough games, like be available enough, right? And maybe that's less important now that they have Brandon Ingram, but they still need what they went out and got IQ for, right? The movement shooting, the creation, the ball handling.
Darko said he's really good at attacking closeouts.
Yeah, like
and that's a guy people will close out on because he's a really good shooter.
Exactly. So like all that stuff they need, but it starts with him being available and being on the court.
Yes.
Now, all that out of the way, if he's relatively healthy, I think I want 3-point shooting volume from him, and I want good playmaking from him. Like, I don't care what the numbers are. I'm not going to be like Shaq and throw it like randomly. Like, he's going to give me 38 and 18. But
honestly, no one in this Toronto market does that.
Yeah.
So maybe
who would be the most likely person?
Who's the most Shaq?
Aaron Rose again? Yeah.
But for real,
Aaron Rose. I love Aaron Rose.
But yeah, for real, I think to me, stay relatively healthy.
Yeah.
Move the ball, be a good playmaker, and up that volume from three.
Yeah. You know, I think first off, I really loved hearing sort of all these comments in terms of just like Quick's going to bounce back. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like, you know, recently I was like going back and watching some old open gym footage, and I rewatched the episode where, you know, it's the OG trade going to New York, and of course RJ and IQ coming back. And I mean, first off, even the conversation, because you know how Masai was always like on the phone talking to these guys, and he was like, "RJ, welcome to the team, man. You can be great here." And then IQ's like, you know, you're gonna be a great fit with Scottie. You're gonna be a great number 2. You know what I mean? And it was just like there was such an intention to sort of like make that sort of the pairing right beside obviously the main piece, which was Scottie. And I do feel like, especially now with Ingram coming in, it's like IQ almost gets like it's a bit of a forgotten man in a way. Obviously, he was injured, but that's why I also loved hearing how much like he's worked on his body. You know, Darko said he's changed his diet. He looks physically stronger as well. I think a lot of that is just in response to like, it must be really frustrating to not be able to play because he's been a very healthy player over the course of his career. But, I think honestly, Darko this year has been so big on defense and really trying to continue that momentum from last year. And a lot of that starts at the point of attack, of course, in terms of guarding the ball. And you're going to need a lot of fitness in particular, like a next level type of fitness to be able to pick up 94 feet or, 3/4 court or even half court. I think with Jamal, especially as the backup, man, pick up full court. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, I want you to do that. With Quick, I don't really realistically expect him to pick up full court. He's never been that type of guy. But can he give me like 3/4 court pressure sometimes, maybe in a half court pressure sometimes, most of the time, honestly, and just like really, really be diligent on the ball defensively. And I think the more they run out in transition, I think he's a great option, especially on the three. Because if you imagine a Raptors fast break, right? Scottie's running to the rim, RJ's cutting to the rim, Jakob's trailing and maybe going to catch it going to the rim. So somebody's got to actually flare out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And of course, Ingram obviously can shoot it, and IQ, I think. But especially with IQ, as the point guard, you got the top of the floor a lot when the floor changes on the defensive side. So you're more likely to leak out to get threes and stuff like that. And I think that's actually where he might be able to like scale up his 3-point volume. But he's like that go-to shooter for me in the starting lineup right now.
Yeah, and also putting pressure on the opposing team's defense off the ball, right? Like when you think of the great shooters around the league and good movement shooters, as IQ is supposed to be, you think of guys that need to be chased, right? Mm-hmm. When they don't have the ball in their hands, they're running off screens, they're moving, and someone on the other team or multiple people on the other team need to be chasing them and be aware of that guy. And I think, just like we talked about Scottie getting more opportunities off the ball with BI being here. Yeah, IQ is the point guard. But Brandon's going to have the ball in his hands plenty. And Scottie will too. So IQ is going to get plenty of opportunities off the ball in this new revamped lineup. And he's going to make the most of them. And he's going to make opposing defenses work. We're talking about the Raptors tiring themselves out because of the way they want to play defense. IQ is going to, inflict some of that pain on opposing defenses too.
I think that's where, especially if they can involve IQ and Scottie, but in even more off-ball actions where, let's say, Scottie's trying to free up IQ to come around a screen to get open, and that causes a switch, for example. A switch happens. That's great because Scottie's now in the post against a point guard. Throw it down to Scottie. He's dominating in a size mismatch closer to the basket. If they don't switch, if they're a little bit late, IQ probably gets a chance to, again, get a good three or maybe get a rough closeout because they're trying to, make up the gap. And now IQ's getting into the lane and got the floater. Obviously, got the drop off to whoever he needs to. I also think that a bit of an underrated part of this, too, is I actually really do like seeing IQ run pick and roll with Yak. And
Yak's talked about that too. That he's got like a good chemistry.
Well, they always talk about how much they work together on that, and rightfully so. It's the point guard in the center. They should talk all the time about pick and roll. But I think there's an element there too. But I am really excited because you know what, the Raptors obviously really committed to IQ early by making that trade. He was a restricted free agent. They didn't even let it play out. They were like, "Here, automatically, here you go, $32.5 million per year for the next 5 years." It's a really long commitment, but at the same time, it's like, I think that reflects the level of excitement they've had for him. And it's unfortunate that the first year of his contract, he was injured, but I don't think we should lose all that focus and momentum just because he wasn't able to be on the court that much last year.
100%.
Yeah, and RJ, I think he introduced a new nickname for himself and IQ.
Ooh.
Calling themselves, well, he's been referring to Quick as 5.
Right.
Which I love because last year we were calling Gabe Vincent 7 because he was a wild card player for me. For
only we were calling him 7, I think.
I'm calling him 7 for no reason.
And by the way, we do have 4 as well. Obviously, B grade 4.
Yeah, B grade 4.
So we got 4. We got 5.
We got 4, and now RJ and IQ are 9 to 5. Like that's how do we feel about this 9 to 5 nickname? I feel like it has potential. Yeah. I can see Matt Devlin saying it in a tight fourth quarter game.
That's for tomorrow's episode. Matt Devlin coming to the studio tomorrow.
I think it has plenty of potential for as long as they're still teammates.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of potential for the next.
You're saying 9 might get moved.
2 to 4 months.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Man. You're saying 9 might not make it past Christmas. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, 9 to 5. I like the nickname. I like the nickname. Respectable work hours. You know what I mean? Regular 8-hour shift. Very, very relatable to the average
like
man.
When Kobe played with like Chris Mihm. It's like 8 to 4. Oh, God. No, but even talking about like the emphasis, they've been talking so much about playing fast, like defense and stuff. And Darko has talked a lot about just the depth of his team. And I think he's referenced potentially going with like 10, 11 guys to start the season. I'm curious because like the starting lineup is so locked in. Which players from the second unit do you guys think can realistically push to have a role in like closing lineups and important minutes?
To be honest, I feel like there is a case, obviously, depending if you want to close games smaller. I could see, again, it really depends. But like, let's say you're down 10 and with 3 minutes left and you need to make up the gap and you need to play really fast. Is it that crazy to say they might go small with Sandro at the 5 instead of Jakob and just play faster because you need more offense?
I think they can go small with Scottie at the 5 in some cases.
Scottie at the 5 could happen. Then you put in another shooting guard, whether that's like Grady Dick or like Jacoby. I actually honestly like that option better. But that's more of a specialty scenario in terms of like just a regular who might get the starting 5 bumped out. I think honestly, whoever's the best defensively coming off the bench in the backcourt, I think that's the guy. Whether that's Jamal Shed or Jacoby Walter, I think they might steal minutes respectively from the 1 and the 2, just depending on what the defensive matchup is out there. Again, let's say you're the opposite scenario. You're protecting a lead in the 4th quarter, and you got a really tough point guard on the other side, like, I don't know, man, like LaMelo, or like you have like Tyrese Maxey, for example, and like IQ's in foul trouble. It's like that's where Jamal has a real chance to come in and obviously he's not going to run the offense, but at least do a big job for you defensively.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head with those 3 guys between Grady, Jacoby, and Jamal.
Yeah.
Based on what's needed. But I'm going to throw out a name that I'm a little biased to, because I just really like the game that I saw developing in him last year. Ochai, for me, is like you talk about a forgotten guy. Ochai Agbaji is the forgotten guy.
Nobody's even said his name.
No one has said his name other than me when I asked to talk to him one-on-one today, and I think Eric Green did as well.
Yeah.
But look, man, this is a guy that very much fits like the prototypical 3-and-D model. And he did it quietly last year on a bad team, but I thought he did it pretty well. His shot got better. He was a more willing shooter. Defensively, he took on some tough assignments and I thought handled himself pretty well. Can he do that, in a bigger role on a better team? That's what we're going to find out. But I just feel like even talking to fans, like, talking to media people here in Calgary, it really feels like he's been forgotten. And he's only got 1 year left on his contract. There's no extension. I think the deadline for him to be extended is next week or whatever. It doesn't sound like something's going to get done. And so I can understand how he slipped through the cracks in a lot of people's minds. But like when I envision a glue guy, for lineups, and a guy whose skill set allows him to be a connecting piece for various different lineups, whether they're big, whether they're small, however they're constructed, Ochai's that guy for me. And so maybe it's more so me wanting it to happen as opposed to what's more likely to happen.
Right.
But I think in like a perfect world, if Ochai hits the ceiling or like the type of player I think he can be, that's a closing type player in a lot of lineups.
I thought it was interesting what Darko said today in day 2 of training camp when you asked him about Ochai. He's like, we were really working with Ochai on his hands in terms of just being able to be more disruptive and not even be more gambling, because I feel like that almost sounds like a negative thing. But I think that like it's a pretty big difference between, okay, let's say you stay in front of a guy most of the time and you put a hand up. Honestly, NBA players, especially the best guys who you want the defensive stopper to be guarding, probably shooting anyway. Probably just shooting over the top. I think really actually undervalued in NBA defenses is just how important a steal is, or even creating a deflection that leads to a loose ball and that changes possession, but especially an open floor steal. And I think that's where it's interesting, because I think for Ochai, the next level for him is, okay, you know what? He's got the body for it. He's strong. He's quick. He's disciplined, but push the envelope more so that you create more of those events. I think it feels like weird that he has he's got pretty good chance at blocking a shot, but again, stealing the ball, poking the ball away, making them go in a different direction than they really want to, throwing a bit of a curveball. You know what I mean? Ochai is very
so. What's really interesting that you bring this up, and we did not plan this, but
it's okay.
When I talked to Ochai today 101, one of the things he talked about is that something clicked for him last year, and even in the way he's been training this summer, that he feels that he played it safe too often early in his career on both sides of the ball,
which is understandable. Again,
completely.
He's been traded twice. He's been on 3 different teams.
You're more of a role player. You're trying to find your footing in your minutes. It's completely understandable. But he brought that up to me today and talked about how it's something that kind of clicked to him last summer, and then going into his year with the Raptors, and even now this summer, something he's trying to be conscious of is not playing it safe all the time, whether it's on the offensive end, maybe letting it go, letting it fly, being confident in the shot he can make, and on the defensive end, not gambling, because he is a pretty smart player, but gambling a little bit here and there.
If you're playing blackjack, which I think members of this table have done so. If you're only going to play by the percentages every single time, you know what I mean? Like, you're probably going to lose money to the house. But once in a while, when you can, double down here or there, you split a couple, you know what I mean? Like,
split those sixes.
You can lose more money to the house.
Sixes. You could lose more money, but you can also actually gain a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And I do honestly think that, I would love to see that next step for Ochai, because he's actually done everything right so far, especially the last year with the Raps. And yet, again, outside of you and Kareem, apparently, nobody's even said anything about Ochai, man.
I'm just a big fan of the player he quietly started to turn himself into last year, and I personally hope we kind of see that continue. And from the Raptors' perspective, they should hope so too, because like I said, I just think that type of player, that prototype, is very important on contenders.
Do you think he gets traded though? Especially because he could really help get under the tax.
Yeah, and also because look, there's a lot of guys that are now
value too.
And there's guys now, whether they're on rookie scale contracts or on longer term contracts, that are probably part of the plans here, more in a more concrete way. So I wouldn't be shocked if he gets moved.
Is there another player you guys haven't talked about, off the bench, that you're kind of looking at coming into preseason that intrigues you guys the most?
I mean, we haven't seen him play in a setting in the NBA in a regular season, but even Colin Murray-Boyles, to me, man, I don't know. I think the fact that he's already has it was explained to me by one person in the NBA that CMB could have a little bit kind of like a mini Scottie Barnes version of the rookie season. And if you remember, rookie Scottie Barnes was we don't necessarily have everything designed for him. There's other guys here that's already established, but whenever he's on the floor, he was doing stuff that was affecting winning. He was okay, one game Scottie's gonna be a rebounder in the rookie season. Remember, Scottie had games where 18 rebounds. It's crazy. One game he's gonna be the defensive stopper. One game he's gonna be the mid-range shooting guy. One game he's gonna be the transition guy. And he just he had so many secondary skills that he was effective, even though there wasn't even a clearly defined role for him. And I don't think CMB is as skilled as Scottie is. And if he is, by the way, congratulations to the Raptors. That's a really damn good pick.
Masai's going to take credit for that one.
That's why he got let go one day after the draft. They're day 2, Masai, we don't need it. But I think it could be a little bit like that, where CMB has those secondary skills because, his defense already puts him on the floor. He has that size to be he's that perfect NBA body in terms of you can switch, defend multiple positions. And then offensively, honestly, if I had to say what he does really well right now, I can't necessarily tell you in terms of at an NBA level, right? Obviously in the college, he was solid as a first option, but he was more high volume, but not lower efficiency in terms of just the team's offense wasn't that particularly great around him. But he could do a lot of stuff. He can take it to the rack. Obviously left-handed. It's always kind of an advantage going to the hoop. He's got some size. He can post up a little bit. He passes really well. He gets on an offensive rebound, runs the break. Okay, we've seen him shoot some more threes. Work in progress.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? But he'll chip in and he has a good game sense already that I'm hopefully that actually leads you to getting minutes, regardless of what this game state needs from the game at the moment.
And also, he's a dog defensively, and that's always going to give you a chance to get minutes in the NBA. And with a coach like Darko too, and the way that they want to play defense. And I think that gives him a path to potentially closing some games, man. You mentioned that kind of rookie year Scottie, and he's probably not going to win rookie of the year and become a franchise cornerstone. But if he can defend the way it sounds like he can defend and the way it looked like he could in college, if he even just brings a little bit of pop on the offensive end, and honestly, that could just be crash the offensive glass and create some second chances for your team.
That's valuable.
That's very valuable. So I think there's a path for Murray-Boyles to be closing games, and not consistently, but you talk about the situational stuff, right?
If all goes right by the end of the season, I'm hoping that that's not a surprise. By the way, this is the 9th overall pick too. It's not expectations shouldn't be nothing. The other thing too I thought was interesting was when Darko sort of talked about how he's going to adjust his rotations. He kind of said basically again, if everyone's healthy, we should have at least 2 or 3 starters on the floor at all times. So you can even stagger some of those scores, and it's if you have other guys who could score and be the focal point of the offense, a guy like CMB who's versatile off the ball and can do the secondary things, that kind of really amplifies it. You know what I mean? Because it takes away from the thing that he can't do right now, which is obviously just create offense out of thin air.
Yeah, he's got great confidence too, man. I feel like for a rookie, man.
Yeah.
He carries himself in, like, even when he was talking in the presser today too, just talking in the scrum, just about how he's been guarding different guys in camp, like from BI to Scottie to even Quick and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really like CMB.
He's smart. He's smart. You know what I mean?
Like CMB, man.
Yeah, he's smart because it's like he's complimenting the guys. You know, it's the same thing when we talked to Jamal. Jamal's like, I remember sitting down with Jamal at Summer League, and I'm like, yo, you guys are you, because him and Elijah Martin and Chucky Hepburn, they all love picking up full court. So I'm like, you guys must be, pestering, because then Davion Mitchell was also the backup last year. He's like, you guys must be really guarding the hell out of Quickley. And he's like, it's not easy to guard Quickley. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what?
That's I
very
like,
smart.
I like CMB too, because like he like kind of approaches every question like it's stupid. Because
that might say more about us than anything else.
Yeah, because we'll be like, hey man, like, how was the NBA runs this summer? How was the who are your vets, man? He's like, yo, man, all of them, man. like, he just refuses to give you like a
they're like, who's too young in the wing? You're like,
yeah, all of them, man. I'm under all their wings, man.
I asked them today if there was like
block right now, man.
I asked them today if there was like one guy that whether it was like a skill or like strength, that. Yeah. Until he got to the NBA and started training with these guys, he didn't realize, like, maybe, like, who knows? Yeah, maybe is it like Scottie's strength or someone's shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
And even that, when I tried to ask him that, he was just like,
that's when he started talking about guarding the different. He's just like, everybody's an NBA player.
Yeah, but to your point about the way he like first treats our questions, when I first asked that, he was like, "Do you see who's on our team? Like, they're all good." Yeah. But he did end up saying in that like the one thing that stood out is that Quickley is fast as hell. Mm-hmm. That was his like kind of takeaway, like seeing it in person. It's like, man, he's fast as hell.
We're not getting a real answer from him all year.
No,
he's already a vet when it comes to media questions.
No, I think when CMB figures out like this media thing, he'll actually be really interesting and a great quote.
No.
I just like the condescending nature of the way he answers the questions.
Yeah, I'm excited for Colin, man.
I love Colin, man.
By the way, there's a real chance in his first taste of NBA action, he may be on the floor to guard Jokic.
Right.
Because they're playing the Nuggets, and he might be like the first like big off the bench, because you don't really want Sandro doing it.
No.
So that'd be kind of cool. I remember when Pascal had his first debut, he was like, he came in and guarded Kevin Durant. Like,
oh, that's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like sometimes these weird things happen. It's preseason, so you try stuff. But that could be kind of fun.
You know what name no one's mentioned? What's up?
We're naming the whole roster.
What's up with Jonathan Mobo, man? Let's get some Mobo buzz.
Speaking
going.
of CMB, man, I think he's. I mean, I shouldn't speak before any game has been played, but I feel like if you just think about it conceptually, I think he's going to lose some of that.
Did Mobo not play well in Summer League? I know it's Summer League, but I thought he was pretty good.
Right. No, he was fine. Yeah, he was fine. Yeah. I just feel like when you think about like the play styles and similarities and stuff, I just think, and the 9th overall pick and the investment in him with CMB,
for sure.
It just feels like the stuff that you would expect to lead to opportunities for Mobo is now going to lead to opportunities for CMB.
If you had to win a game to like tomorrow, and you had to trust one of these guys to play 20 minutes for you, Colin's already better than.
Yeah, no question.
Okay, all right. I honestly, I think with Mobo, it's like the Raptors have really over-indexed on players who are great at the elbow, and he's the least great at the elbow.
Like, you mean in terms of like playmaking from
that
the
little like small ball center,
yeah.
Like let's do a dribble handoff, let's like have a little bit of a handle, but it's not like he's gonna drop somebody with his handle.
But Colin can do that. Colin's playmaking can make from the elbow.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they've over-indexed on that because Scottie's got at that. Obviously, Brandon's probably the best guy at the elbow right now because he can really hit the turnaround. Scottie can really hit the turnaround too. Jakob, has the size at least and this, the screen to get people open. CMB, and then Colin might be fifth on that. Oh no, Mobo might be fifth on that list. So I mean, that's what happens when you go Vision 6'9", man. Turns out, like you have a lot of guys trying to do the same thing. Yeah. Some guys get squeezed out. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't count Mobo out just yet because they do have a couple more years on him. But I think the biggest thing for me would be, can he like pop out with like a consistent three? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, different proposition. We can put him in any lineup now. Maybe he can shoot the three and be like an effective fifth option. But again, even just watching some of the warm-ups and stuff like that, they've split there's like 2 courts, so 4 half courts. And they have a group for the bigs, they have a group for the shooting guards, a group for the point guards, and a group for like the forwards. And Mobo's been shooting with the bigs. So it's like him and Jakob and Olivier Sarr, who's on the team. And Shamshay actually hasn't done much because he's had his left hand in a wrap. He's getting evaluated today, and we'll get an update. Hopefully he's okay. And then Sandro, obviously. And it's like, I've been watching Mobo shoot, and I'm like, I don't know. It looks almost more labor than it was actually last year, which was not a good sign for me.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just marveling that you guys are actually talking about Jonathan Mobo.
Somebody's. Oh, come on, we talked about everyone on the roster. I said
we're showing love, man.
It's like Chucky Hepburn at some point.
Yeah, we're showing love, bro.
Come on,
what about David Roddy, man?
Yo, he's a bear.
Okay.
We're calling him Carm.
Yeah, what you were gonna say about Mobo, Cash?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Stop making Cash talk about Mobo.
Damn. I was just gonna say that when you
work hard for a good night in Calgary, man.
when you try to think about like even just a path to minutes. Yeah. Like I don't want to count the guy out either. I hope he proves me wrong. But when you just think about a path to consistent minutes for him, again, it's like where is he slotting in? If you rank this rotation 1 through whatever, is he top 10? I don't think so. Even if you go 11 or 12 deep, I just don't know if he's a consistent presence in that.
This is the thing. I think towards the end of last season, we saw Mobo play a ton of minutes. Obviously, the Raptors were tanking and they're developing, whatever. But like we saw him play a lot of minutes. He had some really good moments.
Yeah.
Like really want to take some of the stuff away from him. He had the triple-double towards the end of the season.
Yep.
Again, it was against the Brooklyn Nets team where I challenged you to name even 3 players in that rotation that played that night. But like, he was making genuine progress over the course of the year.
Yep.
And I feel like what's happened since is I guess out of his control, right? Because if you just look at forwards or / centers, like the in that category, they brought in Colin with the 9th pick. They brought in Sandro Mamukelashvili, who's basically already been installed. Like they've talked about Sandro so many times now, very clear. And then of course they traded for Brandon Ingram last year, and he didn't play last year. So that's 3 guys that immediately jump him in the rotation. Anybody in that situation would lose a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
unless again there's a real breakout element. So it's that might be a welcome to the NBA kind of thing. You know what I mean? One day you're the 31st pick, the next day they stack everybody against
in
you,
the chat. Mobo's finishing as an Oscar contender, one battle after another. That's so good. That's a bar.
That's pretty good, man.
Oh man,
we got Mobo money, Mobo problems. Come on, man.
No, shall see effort on that one.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I got your CD. You got an E for effort.
Last question before we take a break here. I think we've talked so much, starting on media day too, or even Bobby last week. Bobby was managing expectations, not really kind of making any declarations on like playoffs or anything like that. And I think Darko is similar too. But we've heard the players talk pretty openly about making the postseason, taking a next step. Do you guys think the Raptors for a successful season should be evaluated purely on the wins and losses this season? Or is there room for like, if they finish with like 35 wins, but you see all this developmental success, that can still be a good season for this team?
So hard to say because there might be injuries and that really leads it. Like the Raptors do have some good depth now, but at the same time, if Scottie got injured, knock on wood, knock on wood is like, who replaces what Scottie does on this team? Nobody. If Jakob got injured, nobody replaces what Jakob does on the team. You know what I mean? So, and so on that front, but for me, it would be quite disappointing if the Raptors weren't at the end of the season. If they end up tanking the second half of the season or something like that, it's just like, dude, you have much bigger like problems. Like something's really not working. Like you might have to look at a serious change. Like maybe you got to get a different coach with a different set of ideas, or maybe you got to get a different, set of players. You know what I mean? Like something really serious should be wrong if like they're healthy and they're still just like this like regular 30-win team that everyone's confused why they're so expensive. I don't think it'll be like that, but
yeah, like you threw out like 35 wins. Like, is it possible to have a successful season if they win that many games? But there's all these developmental progressions. That Scottie Barnes is in year 1 of a max contract now. They traded for and extended Brandon Ingram. Immanuel Quickley is on a long-term deal that's not cheap. They still have a lot of like young players too. But I think basically, especially in this Eastern Conference, I don't think it's possible to have great developmental stories on this team and progressions and whatever and end up with 35 wins. Like I think if you're getting to like the mid 30s in wins in this conference with the talent they have on the team, then I think something went horribly wrong. And maybe it's an injury, again, knock on wood, maybe it's an injury or whatever, but they did not break out the way they were supposed to, and that's pretty much, you can go up and down the roster and say that if they win 35 games in this conference.
Let's take a quick break because we actually have a lot of great questions in the chat. So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll answer those questions.
This show is brought to you by Simply Spiked. Will, I know summer's over, but you are not done with Simply Spiked, are you?
No, absolutely. This is my preferred drink of choice, as you know.
What do you prefer? What is your favorite flavor? Is it the lemonade? Is it peach? Is it limeade?
Number one is actually the blueberry, which I tried looking around my house. I don't even have anymore.
Well, good to know. It's not even anything I listed there. Hello and welcome, fans. If you're not sure what flavor you want to get yourself a variety pack so you can try each flavor. It really is the ideal drink for any occasion, from hanging with your friends to catching this upcoming Toronto Raptors season. Nothing will get you feeling refreshed and ready for the season like Simply Spiked. Fall is approaching, but there's no need for pumpkin spiced when you got Simply Spiked.
Oh, very good. But no.
Thank you. I know this is an ad, but Will, you really love your Simply Spiked.
Absolutely is not a joke. I'm not kidding.
Pick up Simply Spiked at your local liquor store for your next hangout. Must be legal drinking age. Celebrate responsibly.
All right. We got a lot of great questions in the chat, starting with this one from Matthew, who asked, how bad does the record have to be for the team to sell their big assets at the deadline? Worst case scenario, I guess. Disaster planning.
I think if they're like out of the playoff, even that, because you could be out of the playoff race.
Yeah. To
be out of the playoff race in East, you'd have to be so far back. I think if they're, a losing team that doesn't look like they can make a real run for the playoffs by the deadline, they'll probably sell and try to up their odds in another really good draft. But the problem is, like, when you talk about selling the big assets at the deadline, the big assets you wouldn't be selling, because really Scottie is the asset and you're building around him. Like, you're not trading Scottie Barnes if they're not in the playoff race.
I agree.
And then you start going down the list and it's like, well, then if you're a seller, you're not trading the young guys that you just drafted most likely. So
Sure.
like, what do you, IQ, is that really considered? If they're having a bad year,
the trade value is going to be pretty bad.
This is what I'm saying, right? So it's like, if you're a seller, but all you have to sell is like IQ on that contract on a bad team, or RJ, or again, like an expiring Ochai Agbaji. Like, I think
those are not major moves. That's
you can't really sell, right?
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to sell.
Oh, so we're stuck with
there's
this.
nothing. That's kind of what
they've put themselves in a position where they do have to be good this year. Like the alternate path is really tough for them to suddenly decide to sell assets and rebuild again.
I also feel like, even just in terms of it, that's from the team perspective. I think from the player perspective, it's like, you can tell us for a year, hey man, we're going to reload. Hey, this year we're about to shop in the team. Can't do that for the third year, especially this year. All the players that we're going to win this year, we're going to expect to be competitive. We're going to try to go win. We're going to halfway through the season, like, nah, just kidding. Like, you know what I mean? I guess whatever. Like, guaranteed contracts, they're not going to like kick it. I don't feel like anybody in the team is like so public that they're going to be like, I'm going to do a Jonathan Kuminga, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. You know what? We got this. It's got to work this year.
Listen, man, 35 wins, probably good enough to make the play-in. Like, last year was 37 for Miami to get in. So,
man, 35 wins.
But it's
would you be happy if that in the season they're at 35?
But all I'm saying is, like, the Raptors are going to be in a playoff race by default. Like, they're not going to be so bad that they're not going to be in a playoff race.
Yeah, basically, probably only Brooklyn and Washington won't be in the
chill
playoff.
on Washington.
Yeah. Oh,
wait for the NBA over-unders pod.
Wait till we have you back on the show.
Wait till we have you back next week.
You're going to be wearing the same Paddington Bear shirt.
No, I brought a change. I brought a change of tee. Just
whoa!
Just for each episode. Come on, guys.
Goodness, man.
No, but it's going to take a lot for any team in the East to be completely out of it. Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but that's the cushion that the Raptors have. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
Can I'm
this question feels sad. I agree, actually. Man.
I'm a guest. I'm a guest
back
on the show. I'm not in the comments. But I'm gonna kind of take this question and ask you guys then, what to both of you is truly a successful season then?
Let's go first.
I think they should finish. I think they should finish in the top 6. I think the Raptors should finish in the top 6. I think you should be able to look at the starting lineup at the end of the year as something that you can actually build around. And maybe you make some changes here. Maybe it's like, oh, RJ is the piece that goes, and then you have some of the younger guys step up. But for me, it's they should finish top 6 in the East this season. I don't think that's far-fetched.
No, it's not.
Guys, if they improve 1% every week, at the end of the season.
How do you improve 1% in real life?
That's some rebuilding coach talk.
At the end of the year, we'll be 20% better.
Someone explain this to me. How do you improve by 1% each week? Like what do you apply in day-to-day?
Marginally, man.
Yeah.
But also, if you're improving 1% every week, then technically every week you're improving by more because your baseline,
compounding.
You're right, because your baseline,
your
baseline would be higher at the start of every week. So now you have to be 1% better.
What about those Texas instruments?
Right?
Like,
stick to basic math, man.
No, listen. I feel like so I agree with Alex. Like I think a top 6 would be really, really successful. I think also for the team, it's just like finding a style of play that works. I think even last year, the success that we had coming out of last year was I think they found something defensively that works. I don't know if it's going to be as good as, for the last 40 games of last season, the Raptors were 3rd in defense, and they were within 1 point of OKC and the Clippers, who are the top 2. So it's like, but I don't know if they'll be that good, but I think they found something real there, and they've really obviously emphasized how they're going to sort of continue to sort of attack that point on defense. If they're able to find something that works offensively for this team, it's been a while. We've been watching a lot of struggle ball on this team. Like, how many years of struggle ball? Like, when's the last time you were like, ooh, the Raptors offense?
Like 5-6 years ago.
That's a long time, man.
No, probably
that's a long time. We've been hitting singles, bunting. You know what I mean?
Defending champion season was probably the last time that it felt like their offense was like a fluid,
right?
Well-oiled machine. And even then, like by the time they came, in the bubble, it slowed down to the ground. But probably the highs of that season. So 2019-20, 6 years ago.
So even if we make some progress on that end, and it looks like something relatively sustainable, I feel like honestly Brandon's got to really pop. I think Scottie's got to really pop, and IQ and RG kind of have to do what they're already doing, but just a little bit better. And again, I really do think that it's not that unattainable. And if we look back on the season and the Raptors have won like 45 games, I think everyone's always going to look more valuable across the board too. All this talk about like the Raptors are expensive is like they're expensive because they lose, but if they win with this team, all of a sudden it's like, all right, that makes sense,
Yeah, it's like that, man. They got the core locked in. It's looking great,
No, seriously, like sports is dumb. Like you can really say that. Yeah,
that really could be, man.
Guys, can I issue a challenge to you?
Yeah.
You guys have an episode next week.
Okay.
It's exactly 1 week away.
Can
that episode be exactly 1% better?
Wow. It'll be 1% longer. That's what we do every episode. That's how our episodes end up being an hour and a half. Nah, man.
What else in the comments, Will? Anything else?
Jerome, what do you got? Oh, next one. Jimmy, better be a quick segment on the Raptors Chinatown barbecue collab. Okay, let's see this post.
Yeah, so the Raptors are, of course, after Calgary, going to be going to Vancouver to play the Denver Nuggets, and they announced today on their official social media feeds that they are going to be doing a collab with Chinatown Barbecue in Vancouver. So there's going to be a Raptors triple bite barbecue noodles that is being served there, and there's an exclusive t-shirt giveaway. People watching the feed can see that it's a Raptors logo, and he's clawing a bowl of noodles. So yeah, getting a little FOMO from that. That we're not going to be there to celebrate.
We have an expert on Asia Matters here in Joseph Casciaro, the Prince of Bamberg, who's chowed down a bowl of noodles.
They retired
exactly
both
like that.
his number 8 and 24 jersey at Samu Barbecue.
Yeah, Samu Seafood used to be there too.
Oh man, this guy gave us the whole history, man.
What were we gonna ask him about noodles?
I just want stickers. Actually, I like that. I do like that because last year I think if I show my laptop actually.
Yeah. They did a Montreal bagel.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So it's
sticker,
like
which was really
cool. So it's the Raptors biting a bagel. Now the Raptors biting noodles. Like the Raptor, man, adventurous eater. This man.
Yeah, no, this
bagel and noodles, adventurous eater.
He's an omnivore, man. You never know. You might be eating anything, man.
Once again, I want to say this is a Bobby Webster initiative, but I've been reminded before that Bobby's Japanese, not Chinese.
So Asian, bro. He's still part of Asian mafia, isn't he?
Asians are all the same to me in a good way. I just want to clarify
that out of context.
No,
man.
I just want to clarify that when I say all Asians are the same to me, it's because I love them all equally.
It's cool though. I really do like when they go to these different cities and highlight something. Like I think even the bagels. I think they were highlighting Fairmont Bagels, which is like one of the.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Saint Viateur guy myself.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But like, still, like it's cool, and I think the Raptors going around in preseason. The whole point is just like, engender this like sense of community across the whole country for this team. And That's why we have reporters coming to practice every day, being like, "You guys like Calgary?"
Yeah, no, but listen, I want to, shout outs to, Raptors PR. Like, I think it's really cool for them to involve, I think you mentioned to me, Will, like journalism,
student journalists, yeah,
like right
from
at
like the
University
local,
of Calgary,
yeah,
where the Raptors are practicing this week, and you have local media there. Like, it's very rare opportunities, especially for a place like Calgary, to have an NBA team come, like for a week, have the media availabilities and stuff. So I think it's really cool, and it's like even like us at the gym, like going to practice today, like after practice, like all these students were so excited to see like Garrett Temple come out, and Garrett Temple was just like getting mobbed like he was in China, like Kobe Bryant.
I don't even know if Garrett might be mobbed.
You know the famous Kobe Bryant picture where he's like reaching out.
But everybody's like, "Yo, that's Garrett Temple," and then like rushed over, like took selfies and stuff. And it's like those are exciting moments. I'm sure like people in Calgary will run into like the players this week, like out and about, 17th Ave and all that stuff.
Are they on 17th?
I don't know.
We're on 17th.
Yeah, what would be Calgary's if they did some type of food being eaten by the Raptor for Calgary? What would it be?
Yeah, I think I was asking Will this yesterday.
Food?
Yeah, like what is Calgary's signature food?
You guys have gotten banh mi sandwiches 4 times in 2 days here.
So yo,
maybe that's
what you call it, Kim Ang?
Kim Yeah.
That's spelled out.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't that the noise Alex is making? That got a noise complaint.
No. Oh, what if they're eating a Class Clown burger? Boom, right there. The Raptor chowing down Class Clown.
Oh yeah, Class Clown, man.
Yeah, man.
No, but super excited for Vancouver for the open scrimmage too here this Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's. I'm guessing there's no more tickets available, but
I'm sure it's sold out.
Yeah.
But if you do manage to get your way there, it is really fun because you just don't get to see the Raptors Team A play Team B. Like you see them get to play everyone else, but not themselves, so it is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. DM me if you want full footage of it. You can buy it at $10 per CD at your local Pacific Mall. Just Raptors open practice Calgary. All right, it wasn't me. Okay, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Before we go to there's more. Okay, more questions. Okay.
Let's go.
More comments. Yeah. Coco said, "I'm hoping the summer league defense set the tone for our defense during the season." Yeah, I think we've asked like you guys have asked like the Darko and the players about it too. It's like they were going really hard on the defense, really established the identity, and now it's kind of up to the starters to like live up to that in a way, right?
So
yeah, and also it's like they're saying the summer league defense, but again, I think that tone started to be set in the second half of last season, and I think Darko talked all last year about pressuring the ball, putting pressure on the ball, starts fitting, and you ended up seeing it in the finals. And again, I'm not, the Raptors aren't going to the finals, and they don't have the personnel that the Thunder, especially, or even the Pacers had last year.
Yeah.
But like you can see where the league is going and how teams have found success on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And the Raptors started seeing it in the second half of last season too. So for as great as the summer league defense is, I'm not taking away from that or from the question, but I'm saying I actually think that tone started to be set, 6 months ago, whenever the season ended.
Dude, this is the thing when you're losing, anything that isn't losing, you cling on to.
Yeah.
So they were like, finally, we found something that works. The defense. All right, let's hold on to that and let's try to add to that. But we're gonna maintain that one thing that actually worked. I think Scottie really sets the tone just for the team overall. He's like, again, like he's just even if he's not on the floor, he's like on the bench. He's always like trying to raise the energy of the team. Like the competitiveness, I think, is really, really there. Jakob, very, very solid, of course. It's gonna come down to the 3 guys, man.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley. If those guys can really guard, then the Raptors can sustain being a really good defensive team. But again, there's not a long track record of those 3 guys. I mean, when I asked RJ about like on media day, I'm like, what do you think about the misconceptions about your game? And he's like, people say I'm a horrible defender. I'm not a horrible defender. I'm like, wait, hold on. We got to move the bar beyond horrible. But
also,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's
not really shutting down the allegations. That's saying that's confirming. I feel like
I like RJ, proud Canadian. I hope he does well. I hope he bounces back on that end. But his defense has been bad for a while, and the question you're talking about, I laughed as he was replying to it because he then started talking about how misconceptions can be created, like and change your reputation around the league.
Yeah.
And it starts off with like, like the fans or media picks like one thing, and you're an awful defender, and that becomes your rep. But then he ends up saying, so it's like the fans and the media, and also opposing coaches and peers.
Yeah, it's probably on the scouting report.
And he's like, and then it's on the scouting report. And it's like, okay, if fans, media, opposing coaches, and opposing players all see and believe something, and it's on NBA scouting reports, I don't think that's a misconception, man. I think
There's
that
literally
just
no
is
other factions
what it
left.
is. Like, yeah, it's literally just you're the only person who doesn't think.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Actually, I'm really excited to see RJ. I know he's like kind of the fifth guy in the starting lineup right now for me, but I think he's come in. He looks really like just much more upbeat. He looks really like physically strong, and honestly, I think especially on the offensive end, if more attention can be paid elsewhere, like RJ's the kind of guy he's gonna get 20 regardless. It's just now he's gonna do less shots for it. Like I honestly think RJ could come up to like I mean, the free throw shooting is really not it, but like minus but maybe effective field goal percentage. You know how true shooting includes free throws. Effective field goal percentage, I think easily over 50 for RJ.
Yeah, I think RJ. Easily. I mean, I still think in like an ideal role as a sixth man, on a team like this, I think RJ can be like a 20-point scorer on like 60% true shooting.
Yeah.
I think he's got that in him.
Okay. Oh, so by the way, the chat from Sunny Chung. Calgary's signature food: steak or ginger beef?
Yeah, we're gonna be grabbing some steak tomorrow.
Okay.
At Caesar's Steakhouse at 8 p.m. Everybody come through. Open run invitation.
No, don't do that. We're not gonna be there.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know, man. I think we might be a pigeonhole, man.
Oh, that's right. Catch us on 17th. But yes, I've been told.
Don't pull up, please.
I've been told in no uncertain terms that the cows are different here in Alberta, and the steak is really good.
Shout out James mentioning Ginobili off the bench when I talked about RJ because they're both lefties too. Didn't Darko say something about like?
Well, Darko got him to watch a lot of Ginobili tape, which I think is good for everybody because everyone should watch some Ginobili tape. Yeah. Like I was just sending Jerome Ginobili tape last week.
Every day you should watch Manu, even if you're not a basketball fan.
To get 1% better.
I might argue Ginobili has a top 10 just highlight reel of his career. Like
Ginobili's one of the coolest players of all time.
Dude,
man.
Exactly. There's like, oh man. Long hair Ginobili with the aura, and then also bald Ginobili with the aura. Like this guy had aura with or without hair, man. You know how hard that is to do?
CMB has serious aura for a rookie, says YG7. Yeah, man, I love his confidence, man. Yeah. Let's see that carry over into on court.
I agree.
Andrew, so excited for the season, top 6 seed this year. Yeah, man, like straight up. I think that should be the measure of success is the top 6.
There you go.
Coco, you keep joking, but people will DM for footage. Yeah, this is for the open scrimmage. Yeah, people fiending for just any like on court footage. Right.
So some would say you guys take too many photos and videos.
Wow.
Look at me started, man.
Hey, man. Eyes and ears are in the room, baby.
I'm a peacetime consigliere this year. You guys know that.
Nah, you pussy bumping Sarah. We've already established, bro. You said.
Oh, man. When are we taking Alex out on the water? When are we taking Alex out on the boat?
Let's go for a little fishing trip, man. You're gonna come in.
No longer you've been walking along the rivers in the morning.
I'm trying to find a place to dump the body. Man.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna start seeing Alex's head on one of those talking fish.
Holy,
that's a deep cut.
It's a really deep cut, man.
We got any other?
No, I'm starting to really like feel the sense of excitement. I mean, again, the Raptors are gonna play actually a game against an opponent for the first time. In a very long time. Next Monday, we're going to get a chance to see what open practice looks like. We're going to, obviously deliver a reaction to that. I mean, I guess people won't. I guess they'll just have to imagine these plays that we're describing. You were like, "Yo, Colin had this great layup."
It's like having someone giving you a DVD commentary of a movie, but you can't watch the movie.
Exactly. At this point, Frodo struggles and fights Gollum,
but you just have to take our word for it. Like, Gollum starts acting really weird, but like you just got to take our word.
Gollum's eating fish, but it looks
and he
weird.
Smells, man. Before we wrap up, shouts to Raptors PR again for organizing a wonderful outing at Bridget Bar. Yesterday it was super cool. Like I think originally, I mean, me personally, I thought it was just going to be a media get together, but then a lot of the coaches, a lot of the team staff, people came through, and
I think everybody came.
Yeah,
through.
It was just cool to be in that environment to have. Because we don't even like when we do get to attend practice and stuff. It's not like you get a lot of chances to have extended conversations. With people, right? So it's like.
So who'd you talk to, man?
The bartender.
No. We're chatting with a lot of great people. Our friend Jama Malalela. I confronted him. Actually, I can't reveal that part. We discovered that Jama is a Korean food enthusiast.
That's right.
Because I think what happened was you proposed this theory.
I have a theory that
Koreans only eat like six dishes.
We can rattle them off right now if you want.
Do you still remember them?
Bulgogi.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, the spicy pork.
Yep.
Japchae.
Yep.
The noodles.
Yep.
The seafood omelet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess you want to put Korean barbecue as a whole.
Yeah, you like give or take here and there. But then Jama pushed back.
And number 6 is the pork bone stew.
Right, but then Jama pushed back because we have forgotten one of the noodles. I think, right?
He's like, yo, man, what about jjajangmyeon? I'm like, yo, this guy knows jjajangmyeon. It's sick.
So yeah, with Jama's
That's
permission,
Chinese, by the way. Jjajangmyeon.
Yeah, I'm allowed to reveal on the show that he is a friend of the community. And also Josh Lewenberg, I know that's a fan favorite there as well, chimed into the conversation and revealed that he's made kimchi before.
He kind of like walked into the conversation, me, you, and Jama were having about Korean food, and he's like,
anytime,
I made kimchi. I was
if we're talking about Asian like stuff, like you come in like you're gonna get quizzed,
Yeah.
So we quizzed J. Lou a little bit.
Yeah.
On the Asian, on the Korean side of food, and he's made kimchi before. Yeah.
He's made kimchi before.
That
surprised me. I've never made kimchi. I'm not Korean, but I've never made kimchi before.
And we tried to convince Michael Grange to try some pigeon next time he's in China. No, this is too far.
There was honestly,
I thought you were going to talk about.
There was a place at Warden and Steeles near where I grew up.
That
you can get pigeon.
Yeah, so I don't think is that too far. Also, like, I guess being a media member is long wait sometimes when we show up to practice for media availability, and media have to find things to entertain themselves.
I thought we were going to end this pod at 40 minutes.
Now we're talking about where to find pigeons.
And we discovered today that most people in Raptors media suck at typing fast.
Yeah, you're actually the best typist on the team.
Yeah, so we had this 1 minute typing test, and I guess it goes by like how many words per minute. And
Samson's been making everyone. Well, not making. He started it, and then everyone gravitated towards it because we had like a 45-minute layover.
So I'm the current leader. I think around like 90 words per minute with a 97 accuracy.
Oh, there we go.
95 words per minute. Yeah.
Yo, come on, man.
So open challenge. To anybody in Calgary.
I think it's just called typingtest.com.
Bring your laptop.
Yeah, tell us
Caesar's
what your results
Steakhouse tomorrow, 8 p.m. See you there.
Man, Castellano got waxed, man.
I got up to 75, but my first effort, I think it was only 58 or something. It was tough.
Yeah. So that's it. We're gonna have Matt Devlin join us tomorrow. So he'll be on. We'll have our annual Matt Devlin training camp podcast episode.
Oh, the vibes are going to be incredible.
Super excited about that. I know Will's been working hard to secure a player interview hopefully this week.
Man,
so
you guys got to find out who it is.
And Cash, let us know what you're up to at theScore this season, man.
The usual, man. People can follow my work in the app, my written work, weekly features, and the YouTube channel. Make sure you're locked and subscribed on theScore's YouTube channel. I saw someone in the comments actually asking about if you guys have done a segment on the Pablo Torre finds out Clippers Kawhi scandal. Shameless plug. My last episode of Unfiltered was on that whole thing and how the sad irony of the whole situation is that the Clippers have been paying Kawhi for a no-show job the whole time. They didn't even need to circumvent the cap to do it. Damn. But anyway, so follow me in the app all year on YouTube, the weekly show on Fridays Unfiltered. The studio show will be back in a couple weeks, revamped, new name from the logo. I'll definitely have you guys in studio.
Say, man, come on, man.
At least, once a month, every other month, just like I'm on this show. And we'll continue to chop it up all year.
Yeah, and listen, man, like I know Cash is our friend, but like you guys want good NBA coverage and stuff, make sure you just subscribe to theScore's YouTube, follow Cash's work. Does great work just covering, the entire league, and of course, sometimes with a focus on the Raptors as well. So everybody should check that out.
Absolutely. Co-sign everything, man. So, all right. That's it for the pod until we see Cash magically in the same studio a little bit later on.
Just in a different t-shirt.
Well, actually, we all plan secondary fits, so maybe we'll look slightly different. But thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with an interview with Matt Devlin. We'll talk about the open practice on Friday. We'll get you a player interview. Obviously, if you haven't checked it out already, if you want the player scrums in terms of what the coach and the players are saying every day, that's also up in the Hello Welcome YouTube channel. So we're looking to just give you wall-to-wall coverage of the Toronto Raptors as we pretty much always do. But I think especially when we're on the road, it's not that much else to do. Although we
what are you talking about, man? Calgary's so fun.
We've been having a great time in Calgary, though. I've been waking up every morning at 6 a.m. because of the time change for some reason. walking to the banks of the Bow River, you know, journaling on the water, skipping rocks on the water. And no one needs to hear about that. So thanks everyone for listening. It's been the Hello Welcome podcast. We'll catch you tomorrow.